Now let us start episode 5 with the subject Connect within 24 elements and with the soul. This is one of the indexed subjects which we shown on the screen at that time under introductory video. So let us now move on. We should understand that the Supreme Soul, that is Mahapurush, in the form of soul, that is Purusha or Jivatma, is the prime connecting point as the 25th element with the universe. By now we all understand that the universe is the result of the conjunction of all 24 elements with the soul, that is Jeev Atma. If we remember, we learned from the previous episodes that without the input of soul, there is no form of life in the various objects created during the manifestation process by Prakriti. It is explained that Antahakaran operates as a subtle instrument through which the Purusha, soul or Jivatma, interacts with the material world comprising of 24 elements. In other words, we can say that Antahakaran acts as a bridge between the consciousness, that is Purusha or Jivatma, and the external world. We are hearing the word Antahakaran for the first time in this topic. So it is very essential for us to know more about it. One most important point to learn here is that the mind possesses a subconscious mind, which is also known as Chitta, the lower mind. This is the storehouse of memories, impressions, and emotions. It is like a hard disk in your computer. It's a chip which is in your mind. Chitta, which we are talking about, is like the mental faculty that retains the imprints of past experiences and influences the current perceptions and responses. Now you can understand how the elements are interacting with each other. The combination of buddhi, mind, chitta and ahankar is known or called as Antahakaran. This is another most important concept of Sankhya philosophy. Antahakaran is often explained as an internal organ or an internal instrument, which we earlier learnt as subtle instrument. It encompasses the psychological functions of the mind, including the perception, cognition, consciousness, and the decision making. It processes the sensory inputs, interprets them, and generates appropriate responses. In this way, mediating the interaction between the individual and the external world. Now you see how Chitta is behaving, or the Antahakaran is behaving or allowing the actions to take place. Prominent point once again here is that the Antahakaran is influenced by the inherent three attributes: Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. In a nutshell to say, the Antahakaran encapsulates the internal psychological apparatus of the individual with the faculties of perception, cognition, memory and ahankar. Now you look at the things how these elements are interacting within, and how that would impact the actions and thereby the results. We have to understand this way that all actions are impacted by the inherent three attributes of Prakriti. Now look onto your screen, which is displaying diagram 6, which you had already seen in the previous episodes, but we are bringing it back here because let us briefly understand the connectivity within the 24 elements. Also learn relation between knowledge gathering senses, means Gnanendriyas, subtle essence, Tanmatras, mind, which is known as Manas, and Karmendriyas, working sense organs, and Mahabhutas, also known as Panchabhutas. So now look at the first one, ear, which is related to sound, Shabda. If there is a sound, you can hear it with your ears. Next is nose, which is connected with smell, Gandha. And eyes, vision. If you see something, you will try to find some form in that vision. Skin, which is sparsha, which is related to sparsha, again touch. And next one is tongue, which is related to taste, means rasa. Now again we are looking at diagram 6, that is the next one which we are talking about is mouth, which is related to speech. Also it has a relation with sound, means ear. Hands, which is related to action, kriya. When the mind directs you to act, so hands start taking the action. Similarly, feet, which is locomotion. If the mind directs you to move forward for any particular action, the feet starts its action. Now, genitals, which is related to reproduction. It's a reproductive organ, which is also known as upastha. Now what is happening? It has a connection with mind. It has connection with eyes. It has connection with sparsha, touch. So it has relation with various elements in this universe. Now the next one is rectum, which is an excretion organ. It has a relation with digestive system, which is again related to Panchabhutas. So mind, known as Manas, the central sense organ in subtle form, directs the organs of sense through sense subconscious. This is how mind is interacting with other elements of this universe. Now we are talking about Panchabhutas and their relation with other elements. Now like Shabd, which is sound. Sound of ether, space, through ears. Now Sparsh, touch of air on the skin. Rupa, sight of fire through the eyes. Gandha, smell of earth through the nose. Taste, again, taste of water through the tongue. So from this you can understand each element has a speciality and which is recognized or which is interacting with the other elements of this universe. As this discourse is about human path and is about the destiny or deed as the reason we can find from the narration or displays shown so far, we can say that human body is consisting of two sheets or two covers. What are those? The subtle body, number one, which is consisting of total 11 indriyas, buddhi or mahat, ahankar, and 5 tanmatras. This is how it is becoming that subtle body is consisting of 18 elements. Now coming to the gross body, the physical body, consisting of 5 mahabhutas, which are also known as panchabhutas. The most important point we should grasp here is that the subtle body never dies. And it goes along with the Atma, that is soul or Jeev Atma. Where does it go? It goes to another body. Only the physical body dies and gets dissolved with Panchabhutas or Mahabhutas. So the subtle body remains there all the time. It only moves from one body to the other. And that's how your memories, impressions, emotions are all carried to the another body. They remain intact, which we talk about it or link it with Karma Siddhantas, which is one of the sub-subjects of the index which we had shown in the introductory video, if you remember, the connection with time. Connection with time means how the 24 elements or 25 elements of this universe are interacting with the time, or time is interacting with these 24 elements. As per Sankhya philosophy, time is an invisible factor and an eternal force. Purusha uses this, means uses time as a medium to witness the play of प्रकृति. एक पर्यवेक्षक के रूप में समय के आधार पर परमात्मा या जो इटर्नल फोर्स जिसके बारे में हम बार बार जिक्र करते हैं, that is how he watches the play of Prakriti as a witness. Time is an unseen force influencing the sequence of creation to ensure that it follows the natural order. What is that natural order? If you look at the manifestation process chart which we had shown in the previous videos, you can observe that it is beginning from the subtle form of the universe process to manifestation process in gross form. From ether down to earth. So you have to basically look at that. Time is an invisible force which is being used by the eternal energy or the supreme soul to watch the play of this process. In other words, time illustrates the transient nature of the physical world. As an invisible factor, time governs the pace and evolution of Panch Mahabhutas without being affected by them. That's how time is interacting with the 24 elements of this universe. In other words, you can say time means samay is equivalent to the Mahapurush, Supreme Soul, or his subtle form, Purusha, that is soul or Jivatma. Hari